Look at me loading my magazine by hand like an animal! Holy crap, the midnight Walmart run paid off this time. I'm really excited for this. So I actually just went there to pick up some more glazing putty. This is really good if you're doing like body work on blasters and stuff like that, to fill in scratches and like holes and everything that comes out when you're sanding stuff. And I also found this, which was, this is really cool. This was cheap too. This is like $3 or $4, but it's basically like a sanding sponge kind of thing, except for it's got a Velcro pad on it and all of these little things of sandpaper right here. It's got like what looks to be 100 grit or 1000 grit, 500 and 400 grit. It's Velcro, you just stick it on there, use it, and this will help you get into the angles that you can't really get into with like a sanding sponge and stuff like that, or, you know, save your fingers from straight sandpaper. Anyway, I also happen to find this! And I'm really excited to find this because I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. I know there's a billion reviews out on it. I could not find one, and I've been very excited for it, and I have not watched a single freaking review on this thing because I wanted to make sure that I gave it my absolute all. Because I'm excited, man. This thing looks really freaking cool. This thing being the NERF Modulus Chronobarrel. And what is the Chrono Barrel? Well, it's an attachment that is sold separately in the Modulus Ghost Ops line, the only other thing in the Ghost Ops line so far being the Evader, which I do not have, and I don't really have immediate plans to get, and that explains why this thing is completely translucent. But the point is that it does two incredible things. One, it counts darts as you fire, because it fits on the end of your blaster, is battery powered, and then it counts darts as it leaves through the barrel, but it also measures dart velocity. I mean, if you were to install this into a blaster, and maybe there's like not a reset button on it per se, but maybe like a way for it, if it powers off then on, and it powers off and on fast enough, you could wire the power switch into your magwell so it would turn off, turn on, and go back down to zero. I may be overcomplicating things, but like that would be really, really useful. As you know, with the Ultima Strife, I worked really hard in putting ammo counting in a blaster because it's something I really, really like. And there is instructions, because there's gonna have to be. I'm not gonna look at those quite yet, but if I get stuck, I will. And it comes with darts. It feels really nice in the hand. It's relatively thick and awesome plastic, and it looks cool, but that screen is way smaller than I thought it would be. I don't know why my brain, even though I had the thing in front of me, that screen is absolutely minuscule. It doesn't have batteries or anything in it right now. It does take 2 AA's, which I'm gonna have to try to wrangle up out of somewhere, but yeah, let's get this thing powered up. I wanna see what it does. All right, and 2 AA's installed. I'm really curious if this thing is going to work very well in this building, because like I said, it is after midnight right now, so is this thing going to work well in this garage with fluorescent lights and everything in there? Hopefully it still works rather well. If it does, I'm gonna be really surprised, but if not, I'll have to wait till tomorrow and get an accurate test off of it, but oh, there we go. Oh, that is really bright and cool. Seriously, this just looks awesome. I don't know how well you can see the lighting panel behind that. That is super clear. Seriously. Oh my, like just having this thing on my blaster is worth it at this point. But let's actually give this a shot. All right. And we are going, oh, it actually times out the screen too. That's interesting. It's gonna be a little difficult to see on this, but let's see if it works at all. It says 60 basically 61 FPS. I can believe that. Wow, and it's flashing. Like it was just pre-programmed to do a 6-round mag for some reason, but it flashes when it's out of darts. So, the highest shot, and it did pretty much climb every time I used it, was 64.8 FPS. That is relatively close. This thing hit about 62 to 72 FPS, so that's really, really close. it's not going to be the most accurate thing ever, and I don't expect it to be accurate. What I expect it to be is serviceable, and this is really promising. I'm actually excited, so what we're going to do is completely ruin that excitement by putting it on the end of a deploy. I have no idea what the deploy hits normally. I'm going to guess it's something like 40 FPS, so let's see if it does at least that. Look at me loading my magazine by hand like an animal! Oh, what am I doing with my life? All right. Oh, it automatically... Hasbro! That's a... Dude! Okay, I'm sorry, I'm like really excited now. It actually automatically, once it was at 0 and I reloaded, automatically went back. There we go. So it's saying 52, 51, 50, 56. That seems a little, 58, okay. 50, that seems pretty high. I'm gonna have to corroborate that with going outside and testing it. But holy jeez. Okay. I am blown away. I usually hate barrel attachments. This one's really small. Alright, at some point in this video, I have to throw out some footage and go to what is essentially my final conclusion, because this is the next morning and I have done a little bit of research, and by that I mean bragged like, this thing is freaking cool, and some people are like, yeah, but. And their yeah buts don't discourage me from saying, this thing is amazing. I really do like this, and I think just about everybody should get one. But it is not perfect. Obviously it's not perfect. It only works with normal darts. And I say that like, absolutely. It will only work with normal darts. It will work with anything that is a Hasbro dart and or emulates a Hasbro Streamline / Elite dart. Because the way this thing works is, it only has one set of readers. If you look at like a normal chronograph, there's usually 2 gates on it. This only has 1. And that means it basically has to time between the 2 sides and uses the length of that dart versus how fast it goes, you know, from tail end to head end. And that's how it calculates how fast the dart is moving. That being said, that means that if the dart is slightly shorter and or slightly longer, it will throw off the reading. So, from my testing, it does in fact work perfectly outside in the sunlight. No, I even pointed it at the sun and shot, and it read perfectly, so kudos to Hasbro for that. But if you're using something like, say, here's an X-Shot dart, this will read like 10, 12 FPS higher. Same thing with the kind of Adventure Force / Dart Zone darts here. Same issue. So, this thing still works with AccuFakes. I tried it with 4 different kinds. I tried it with the Ray Squad ones, which I happen to be a big fan of. I tried it with official AccuStrike darts. I tried it with some blue ones, and I tried it with some black and orange ones. All of them read identical to Elite darts, which is a little concerning because they should be slightly lighter or heavier, so it should throw up, but it was like, again, it would only be the difference of this stock blaster between like 4 or 5 FPS, so it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. It's not really meant to be an accurate kind of instrument. In fact, it costs $15 frickin'. If you're somebody like me, this wouldn't replace the chronograph I already have. That being said, it is a really nice tool, and it's cheap enough and cool enough that A, everybody should have one regardless, because if you have a blaster like the Infamous here, you just slap it on there. If you're doing some kind of mod to like anything that has an end strike rail attachment point or something that you can kind of stick a barrel into and stick it down on there, you would help yourself immensely if you have no other way to compare and contrast results. It won't work with short darts or anything like that, but it does work. And it's also really cool because it has that built-in ammo counter, which works effortlessly, and the backlight on this thing is fantastic. Everything about this, I'm shocked I'm saying this, just screams of actual quality. Actual thought processing went into this thing. That's no joke. Like, it's got an amazingly good backlight, easy to read screen, just enough options to make it worthwhile. If you want to switch it between feet per second, meter per second, just click these two buttons right there. It's awesome. It would be effortless to have this, like, this plus switch wired to the loading gate back here on the Infinus if you were doing an integration, and have that hit that plus button every time you load in a dart. I'm not sure how well it deals with extreme rate of fire, but with good rate of fire, like from a hyperfire and stuff, it worked perfectly fine. I can't recommend it enough. Pick up a Chrono Barrel, pick up two. I mean, these things are kind of hard to find right now, but they're really, really, really freaking good. I need to stop using really so much, but I just can't help it. That thing is amazing. Let me know what you think about the Chrono Barrel down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it because I'm really excited for this one. I was not expecting to like this thing. I thought it was going to be trash and I was going to just destroy it, and it turned out it is absolutely awesome, but I'd love to get your opinions on it. Other than that, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta up,